Hey guys, welcome back to the vlog. I'm getting some work done on the S2000. I really have been feeling that the need to start kind of kicking into gear, right? I really want to get this car done. So what I started working on is actually getting a lot of the fiberglass work done on the front end. We got the bumper all sanded down. I got a lot of those cracks that were in the fiberglass sorted and fixed. Same with the front fenders. If you remember watching the video where we originally got these front fenders, that driver's side one was missing like a good corner chunk of it. We got that filled in and just needs to be sanded down now. We're actually shaving off the side markers too. I didn't record that because, to be completely honest, I didn't know if it was going to work or not. So I didn't want to waste your guys' time watching something that wasn't going to work, or, you know, essentially get demotivated from doing that. So it actually worked. It actually came out really great. So we still need to do the passenger side one. We still need to delete the side marker off of that. The reason I'm deleting the side markers is when these came, the side marker was in the incorrect position, and it looks like somebody had cut them out. And when you go to fit the side marker in there, it wasn't fitting properly, and it kept popping out. And I have a similar issue like that on the Evo, where I actually had to put a little bit of double-sided tape on the back of the side marker to get it to stick, and I don't want to do that with this project. So we went ahead and just shaved them entirely, and we're just not going to run side markers. But yeah, in this video, we're going to go ahead and finish up the driver's side fender. We're going to go ahead and finish up the passenger side fender, mock everything up, get that final fitment dialed in, and then just prime everything. I might even pull the hood and get the hood done too. The hood needs a little bit of work. So yeah, hopefully by the end of this video, we'll have the whole front end situated. That's my goal, at least for this weekend, is to get the whole front end of this car done, because then all I need to do from here is fix that rear quarter panel dent that I showed you guys before. And once that's done, all it really is just sanding down and prepping the body for paint. At this rate, if I'm able to get all this done, I honestly feel that in the next 3 to 4 weeks, we might actually have this car done. So we'll see. We already got the wheels and tires. The wheels are sitting back there in the corner in a box. We're going to be running an 18 by 9.5 with a plus 22 offset. And we're going to be running a 265/35 tire. So that way it fits nice and flush. So yeah, once we get the whole front end done, and I think next video I'm going to go ahead and show you guys how I'm going to tackle that rear quarter panel dent. And then from there, we'll get those wheels and tires mounted and get the car painted, and I think we'll be done. We still need a lot of work to do. The engine's making a little bit of a chattering sound, so I believe that it's the timing chain tensioner. At least I hope so. It still runs great, but at idle, it sounds like the chain's slapping. So I'm going to order a new timing chain tensioner, so that way it can take care of that. We're going to do new spark plugs and coil packs, so that way it can start idling normally and running fine. It's leaking coolant out of somewhere, and I essentially got to find where that is. And once that's taken care of, then the engine essentially is done. Then from there, we can focus on the interior. The interior just needs a whole lot of work, but at least by then, the rest of the car will be enjoyable and drivable to the point where the interior can wait. So, but we'll get there. But yeah, but we can see here the front bumper needed a lot of work. There was a lot of micro cracks and scratches that I had to fill in right here. We went and filled those in with some body filler, flat sanded it, and it's all smooth now. Some of the other things that we had to fix too, we go around down here, was it was all missing essentially, so it's not the best repair, but we filled that in. Same with this area. You can't really tell. I still need to go through and sand this a little bit more. You can kind of see on this one here, but it was missing a lot of material here just from like getting, from it hitting dips, getting cracked, and just scraping. Also right here, it was missing like probably a good thumb size chunk on this area and right here as well. So we got all that filled in and looking good. I got to come through and file this down a little bit more to give it a little bit better of an edge. But the bumper is essentially almost done. What I'm going to do from here is I got to get the bumper mounted on the car, and I'm going to essentially recreate that gap in the headlight that it had, so that way we don't have any terrible gaps. So we'll go ahead and set the camera on the tripod, and that's where we're going to get started, is right here, is filling that in. All right, so the way we're actually going to do this is I saw another YouTuber that did it this way. I can't remember his name, but he essentially ran into the same issue we did, where he had a significant enough gap because of the bumper he was running, and essentially he grabbed some tape, masked the bottom side of the headlight down, and filled this in with fiberglass filler. And that's essentially what we're going to try and replicate today, just to get that fitment dialed in a little bit better. So yeah. All right, so essentially this is what it should look like. We've already got ahead and we have the bumper just zip tied down for now, just kind of holding it into place. The fitment here on the driver's side is honestly really, really good. It's got a little bit of a gap here, but honestly, I'll take that. It really snugs up tightly here in the corner, so I might have to come in and shave that down a little bit. That way the headlight's not rubbing. But I'll take this fitment any day of the week. This here on the passenger side is where we're having problems. We can see it's got a big gap here. So essentially that's what we're going to fix. We went ahead and laid some tape down. I'm going to go ahead and put some tape behind the bumper here. That way it's got room for it to sit up against. Kind of make essentially like a mold from it is the goal. And we'll start doing is just laying down fiberglass putty all around here. And then we'll come through and we'll sand it down smooth. And just like that, that's all filled in. I did my best to get it as smooth as possible. Once that hardens and once we sand it down, I will go back over it with some body filler. That way it can come out not so rigid. But yeah, that looks a ton better as far as filling that gap in. Looks like I need to add a little bit more here in this corner, so we'll go ahead and add that real quick while the fiberglass is still wet. But yeah, that's essentially how we're going to take care of that gap right there and get it looking, well, better than it was. Anyway, while we wait for that to dry, let's go ahead and block down the body filler that we have here covering up the side marker. If you don't remember from the first video where we got these fenders, this is the hole I'm talking about. It wasn't cut out properly. I wish I could run the side markers, but the amount of work it would take to fill that in, reshave it down to fit them properly, it just seemed like a lot. So I figured let's just go ahead and delete them entirely. So we went ahead and got that guy going. Over here as well, if you remember when I first got the fenders as well, it was missing a good corner chunk right here. So we went ahead and filled that in and reshaped it. We still have a bunch of little micro cracks I have to take care of on this fender. We can see one of them right here. So I'm going to grind that down, fill it in with some fiberglass, and we'll go ahead and sand it back into shape. But yeah, the reason I didn't film this is because I didn't know if this was going to work or not. Essentially, the way we did it is I grabbed a fiberglass mat. Let's see if I can set this down. It's kind of hard doing it one-handed. And it's a little sloppy, but I went ahead and filled this in from the back with some fiberglass fabric and some resin. So that's on there. And then once that was filled in from the back, I came by in the front with some fiberglass filler, filled that in, and then once that was hardened and everything, we went ahead and sanded it down flat, and we went ahead and just filled it over with some body filler here. So from here, we're gonna go ahead and block sand this down with some 180. get it as flat as possible. And then from there, that should be basically done. We got some other cracks we got to take care of still. We got this guy right here. And I filled some of these here when I saw them. But yeah, once we get that done and the rest of the cracks, this will be ready to be primed. And then once the bumper's done, we'll go ahead and reprime that area as well. Then we just need to finish this fender. This one thankfully doesn't need as much work. I just gotta clean up the edges for the headlights a little bit and shave that side marker. And then this will be ready to be primed. And then we'll be able to put everything back together. It's gonna fit a ton better. And hopefully here soon we'll be able to start actually painting. All right, so this is all the way dry now. We're gonna give it a little bit longer to cure. From here, what we'll go ahead and do is just with some sandpaper, just try and flatten this out as much as possible and get rid of all this residue over here. The tape worked really great. It didn't stick at all to it. Now we can just go ahead and peel this off the headlight. And that should now give us the fitment that we're needing to get the front end looking better. So we're going to give this a little bit longer. I'm actually going to be going to the gym here in a minute. And then when we get back, we should be ready to kind of pick up from where we were at. And then from there, we got to go ahead and finish this guy. We went ahead and sanded all this as you saw. It still needs a little bit more filler for this little gouge right here. And then we'll come back and sand that again. This is pretty much done. I'm going to outline the cracks that I need to situate for when we get back. I found another one right here. We got the one here. And then we have the one right here as well. So I'm not going to mix filler twice. So I'm actually going to wait for the bumper to finish curing and hardening. And once that's done and we sand that down, because I'm actually going to come through with a little bit of filler as well, some body filler to kind of smooth it out a little bit. And so once this is done curing, then we'll go ahead and make some more body filler. We'll get this situated, the fender situated, and then we'll be ready to start on this passenger side fender. This one hopefully won't take as long now that we know a little bit what we're doing. I just gotta clean up these corners here so that way the headlight isn't sinking in, and then take care of the cracks it has, and then shave the side marker. And then from there we'll be able to prime everything, honestly. All right, now that it's all cured and sanded, we can see it's looking a ton better. We still have a big gap right here. I'm gonna have to file the edge of the fender down and add more material to fill that in, and then we'll basically be done with the gaps. It's still not super clean. I'm actually gonna go through with this and add a little bit of body filler, and then just start shaping it back into place. But overall, you can kind of see the gist of like what we're going for here. It is taking up about 90% of that gap and making it look a ton better. So may not be perfect, but honestly, I'm really stoked with the results of that. So let's go ahead and keep working at it. Just gonna add some body filler from here and probably end it right there, and just try and shape it out so that way it comes out smoother than well, what it is now. It's pretty jagged. I used a Dremel to try and sand it down. So yeah, we'll go ahead and keep working at that, and hopefully here in the next clip it should be done. All right, guys, went ahead and sanded it all down. It's as straight as I can probably get it for now without trying to without accidentally messing it up. It's actually pretty smooth. But yeah, really stoked with how this came out. We got a much better body line there, one that at least I won't be super embarrassed about. But yeah, the front bumper, well, it's essentially pretty much almost done. I just got done trimming up this edge right here so the hood can shut, and same with this edge here for the headlight so it can fit better there. It's got a little bit of a gap there, but once we have the front lip on, that will actually suck in and kind of tighten that up a little bit. But yeah, we're making progress. The front end is almost done. The front bumper is basically, well, I'm just gonna call it there. Now we just gotta finish the front fenders. That one's almost ready to be put back on. This one, well, we gotta go through the whole process on this one. So once this fender's done, we'll sand down the hood and it's time to prime the whole front end. And we'll throw the front lip on at the end, just so that way we can get a good idea of what it's all gonna look like. Alright guys, we're gonna take a little bit of a break from the body work. I need to get the car moved over to the center of the garage. I started working on the rear quarter panel just off camera because again I didn't know how it was going to turn out. We got a good majority of the dent out. Now we just need to fill it in. So I need to get the car moved over because at this point I think we're getting pretty close to basically get the car primed. So since the car's on jack stands right now, it can't be rolled. I'm actually going to go get the wheels and tires mounted. So you guys are going to get to see what wheels and tires we're putting on this. So yeah, right now we're going to get them loaded up. I don't have my truck right now. My fiance took the truck to get groceries. So we're going to try and put these in the Evo and let's see how they fit. I guess before we go get these mounted, I should probably show you guys what wheels they are. So these are the Inovia Canos by Fitment Industries. We've partnered up with them for a few sets of wheels already. The wheels on the IS300 we got from them. So SSRs on the Evo, we partnered up with them and got those from them as well. So we figured it was fitting just to check these out. I was actually a really big fan of these, simply because they still have that Trek appearance. And that's kind of the whole goal for this car, is to drive it hard. And I've seen a lot of good things about these. But yeah, here they are. They're 18 by 9.5 with a 22 offset. I've already test fitted these and they honestly fit great. Cool part too is they're super light. They really don't weigh all that much. I wish I had a scale so I could actually weigh them for you guys, but yeah, I guess you'll have to just take my word for it. But yeah, these are going to be the wheels we're going to be putting on. They also sent us a little bit of a care package, which is pretty cool. So we got their team box here. And some of the cool things it came with is it came with an Inovia t-shirt, has the logo on the front and on the back. So it's going to be my new gym shirt. I'm really excited about that. Got a few decals, a couple of Fitment Industry decals as well, and get a key tag as well. So that is neat. But yeah, let's go ahead and take these over to the tire shop and get them mounted. I don't think I'm going to be able to fit them all with the boxes. So if you have an Evo 10, they don't have a lot of space. Nice thing though is the back seats, you can actually fit, I've tried it in the past, you can fit a full set of wheels back there. I'm a little worried about the tires. Might have to put 2 in the passenger seat and then the rest in the back seat. So I might have to be taking all these out of the box, which I really don't want to do that because I don't want to risk them getting dinged up on the way there. But we got to do what we got to do. All right, we were able to fit all 4 wheels and tires in the Evo. I'm sorry I haven't shown you guys too much of this car. This is actually my primary vehicle, my essentially first real build, where I was actually really proud of. I love this car. It's never going to go anywhere. We're actually going to redo it here soon, just to give it, kind of freshen it up a little bit. You can see the wraps kind of taking some damage, and the headlights are foggy. Same with the wrap right here. So it's time to bring this girl back to life and bring her to, you know, originally where I was super stoked about her. But yeah, we can see It's squishy, but we got them all in there. So, and we got my fiance's wide body STI back there as well that we'll be making some content about here soon. There we go. I do have to squeeze in here just because there's like, I had to move the tires right behind the back seat. So yeah, we're set to go to the tire shop. We gotta stop and get gas, and then yeah, we'll be good to go. All right, there we go. Full tank, 26 bucks. Can't complain. All right, we went ahead and got the wheels mounted and balanced, so they're all ready to go. So let's go ahead and head home. We gotta clean up the garage, move a lot of the stuff that's been piling on top of the S2000. I gotta adjust the coilovers real quick, and then we'll get the wheels put on. And then we can reposition the S2000 to the middle of the garage so I have a little bit more space to work around it. But yeah, we're making real good progress, and yeah, let's get home. All right, and just like that, the wheels are done, ready to go. We just gotta raise the coilovers up a little bit. The car's a little bit too low for this meaty of a setup, and to be honest, I kind of want it a little bit higher since I do plan on driving this car a lot. I don't want to be dragging the front lip everywhere. So yeah, I'm actually really stoked with how these came out. So again, these are the Inovia Canos. They're 18 by 9.5 with a 22 offset. You can find these over at Fitment Industries. They're always having sales on them, and again, they're an awesome wheel, super light, super durable, and they're gonna look great on the S2000 once it's ready. All right, we went ahead and got the passenger side fender off. Let's go ahead and delete this side marker here. So the way we're gonna do this is we'll use some actual fiberglass matting that I have laying back here. Sorry, it's a little messy today in the garage. But yeah, we'll go ahead and cut this down to size. And with some resin, it's just going to lay right over. And it'll harden up here soon. And then we'll be able to come around the other side and fill it in with some fiberglass filler. And then we'll be able to fill it in with some body filler on top of that so it can come out smoothly. All right, now that that's done, we're gonna let that harden up, and then once it's nice and rigid, we'll flip this fender over and we'll fill in on the outside. But yeah, essentially we did about 4 layers of fiberglass matting. We got that really nice and saturated. We extended it past. You really want to, when you're reinforcing or shaving or whatever it is that you're doing with fiberglass, you really want to make sure you get a good surface area around the area in specific that you want to work on, so that way it has somewhere good to hold on to. This is a messy job. Don't worry. I'm not really super stressed on how the inside of the fender is going to look. Nobody's ever going to see the inside of the fender unless the fenders ever come off. So I'm not super worried about how this came out. To be honest, it kind of matches the theme of the rest of the inside of the fender anyway. But yeah, that we'll go ahead and give that. I believe it takes about an hour for it to start hardening. I added a lot of hardener on there, so hopefully it'll be quick. But yeah, we'll keep an eye on that. And then once that's done, we'll flip it over and finish the other side. All right. Now it's mostly hardened up. You can see that is not going anywhere. It still has to cure. That part takes approximately, from my experience, about 24 hours. So from here, what we're going to do is we're going to lay some fiberglass filler over this just to fill in this top section of it. Hey guys, so I actually took a break since that last clip. It was getting pretty late that night, and Well, I kind of figured it's good to take breaks, but I want to actually show you guys. I've been working on this quarter panel, just kind of like off camera, simply because if I don't feel like it's gonna come out good, the last thing I want to do is show you guys how I do it, because I don't want you to look at it as a tutorial, right? Basically, the way that we fix this quarter panel, I'm almost certain that it's probably gonna fail in a year's time, maybe even two. But for now, the main goal is I want to get this car on the road and I want to drive it as much as I can. And if it fails, it's not the biggest deal. We'll go ahead and actually replace the quarter panel entirely when that time comes. Who knows? It actually might last longer. I did a little bit of research and talked to a few of my body shop friends of mine and they said this is probably the best way to do it. Um, so we went ahead and once we pulled out the majority of the dents on the quarter panel, I went ahead and filled that in with actual like fiberglass with a bunch of hardener, so that way it was structural. And I even like hit it and it wasn't like cracking or anything, or couldn't feel it flex or anything. So we sanded it smooth to the body. Then we went ahead and did a layer of body filler on top, and you can see now it's actually incredibly smooth. It lines up perfectly with the body, and even like the line with the door is now as close to perfect as I can probably do here in my garage. It's not quite perfect right here. It kind of gaps out a little bit right there, simply just because it was hard to pull this out enough to get it to, a good point. But regardless, I'm happy with how it looks based on the fact that I'm doing this in my garage and I don't have all the right tools, right? Let alone the experience. This is my first time ever doing a repair like this. And I think this came out really great. So now that this is done, we're going to go ahead and focus on, hey, I got to get those fenders done because I got to put them on the car. But I also got to do the body work on the rest of the car. We can see where it got keyed. I got to smooth all of that out. It had a dent there, so I grinded it down to bare metal so I can try and pull it out and then fill that. It's got another dent over here as well, and then one right here. So I'm going to try and take care of those 3 dents and basically any other dent I can find throughout the car, so that way I can get it, as straight as possible. But yeah, we're going to go ahead and try and get those fenders done. The fiberglass is completely cured and hardened on them, so I just got to sand them down and do my best to install them. And honestly, I'm kind of getting tired of it. I might honestly just go back to stock fenders. I might try and source some stock fenders or even just some different fenders, just because with Duraflex stuff, it's always hit or miss. And I feel like I just got so many hours of work into those fenders, and I'm still getting some fitment issues. So we're gonna go ahead and try and get this as close to perfect as possible. I still need to reinforce the tabs. I didn't get a chance to do that, but yeah, that's the goal. I really want to make these fenders work, but I also need to get the car done. And well, yeah, I can't be spending too much time on these fenders. So if I can get these fenders to work, I'm probably gonna order. I know Group A and Shine has some good fitting Jay's Racing style fenders. I might end up just ordering from them, and I don't know, I might either sell these for a couple $100, or if somebody else wants to put in the work to try and get them there. They're almost there. It's just between the frame of this car being tweaked right here and the fact that they're Duraflex. It's just I'm running into issues left and right. We are gonna get this fixed. I'm actually talking to a body shop. They're gonna basically cut this entire section and replace it on both sides. This side's not as bad, but you can see that it's still not perfect. So I'm actually going to get that replaced on both sides and probably do a new radiator support while I'm at it. But I just got to get the car on the ground and drivable so I can take it over to the body shop. We got some bad news. I got the driver's side quarter panel looking good, super stoked about it, and I was like, well, there's some damage on the passenger side quarter panel. Let's go ahead and knock that out. So I started sanding, and I knew there was a lot of body filler, like a lot of body filler. And, well, the more I kept sanding, I just grabbed my little die grinder and just started shredding this stuff off. Yeah. this is a chunk of body filler that came off. The entire quarter panel is like this. Like I can't even break this in half. Like it's that much body filler. There's no reason ever that anybody should use this much body filler. So yeah, I've been sitting here grinding off all this body filler, and I'm gonna try and work these dents out. I'm not really stoked about this. I'm actually a little bit upset about it. Contemplating just pulling the motor and the drivetrain because I know that's good out of the car and finding a shell and just tossing it in that. But I mean, we're already this far. We might as well see this whole thing through, right? Man, like, come on. Anyway, it's really starting to seem like later down the road we're gonna have to replace both driver and passenger side quarter panels, as well as the front radiator support and the front frame forks. I think is what they're called. So yeah, we'll do that eventually down the road. I'm not super worried about it right now. I mean, it's structural. It doesn't like bend in or anything, but it's just so bad. Yeah, I'll show you. You can see just how bad it is. It's like none of it is smooth. Like when you get up here, it's pretty decent, but then as soon as you start working your way down, it's like pimples everywhere. It's just like little craters, and you can tell that somebody tried working all these dents out with a little stud welder and left a bunch of, well, more craters from it welding. They even left a hole there. So yeah, this sucks. And well, really the only thing I can do is basically replace the entire quarter panel, but I don't have the tools or the money to go purchase a new quarter panel. So we're gonna make do with what we have. We're gonna try and fix this as best as we can, and we're gonna do a skim coat of body filler over it. That way it's smooth. And here's the funny part: grinding all this off, the trunk lines up with the quarter panel even better now than it used to. So before it was kind of sunken in a little bit, and now it's actually lining up better. So I mean, we're not gonna let it hold us back. We're gonna keep going at it. I'm gonna probably go to about, I don't know. I know right in this area thins out, so I'm gonna try and just work my way over to the point where I can just flatten it out, and then yeah, do a skim coat of body filler, sand it all down, smooth it out again. But yeah, this is not what you want to see when you're, doing body work on a car. If you see Bondo or body filler cracking on a car, there's a good chance that it's something like this. You can see just the amount of, if we can get it, there we go. You can see just the amount of body filler that was used on this guy. So it is what it is. I mean, it's literally a cheap S2000. I traded a $3,000 IS300 for this car. I mean, that's how much I was into it. It was worth more than that. But yeah, we traded an IS300 for it straight across. So not surprised. But either way, we'll fix it. It's not a big deal. All right, guys. It's actually been about a week since the last clip. We went ahead and filled this in with body filler, sanded it flat. I think what we're going to do now is just lay a little bit of glaze right here and on this repair here. And then we're pretty much set to go. I went ahead and got the wheels and tires put on, as you saw. Car's back on the ground now. I got to mess with the headlight fitment a little bit more. When I reinstalled it, I need to get it pushed back over a little bit to the left, which I have a good idea of how to do it. But I wanted to show you guys that quarter panel that was all messed up. Went ahead and fixed it. I didn't record how I did it, mainly because, to be completely honest, I'm not expecting this repair to last very long. Essentially what I did is I cut all the Bondo out. I basically grabbed the hammer and started chunking it into pieces and sanded it all down to bare metal. From there, I went ahead and used my stud welder and a pry tool, and I worked all the low spots out. Then I filled it with fiberglass over, and then from there, sanded it all flat, and then filled it with some body filler, and then some glaze, and then primered. There's still a little bit of a low spot right here, but to be completely honest, this quarter panel took me roughly about 4 days just to get it to where it's at now. And well, I fully expect me to have to replace this quarter panel down the road. But I couldn't afford to do that now, so that's why we did it this way. And to be completely honest, I'm actually really stoked with how it came out. I think it looks great. And that just is ready to be wet sanded, and then that will be ready for paint. We went ahead and taped the whole top of the car. We took the hard top off so we could start working on that. All right, just like that, the entire passenger side is done and ready to be primed. We went ahead and taped up the keyhole and sanded everything down with 380. So it's all smooth, ready to go. So let's go ahead and lay down some primer on this guy and also on the back of the hood as well. All right, we went ahead and got everything cleaned up, taped off, sanded down, ready to go. We got the Amazon paint gun all loaded up with primer. We're ready to go. We're gonna go ahead and start shooting. All right, went ahead and got the whole passenger side primed. It came out really nice. There's a couple areas where air pressure fluctuated that left some orange peel. But again, this is all filler primer sandable, so we're gonna go ahead and sand this down. All right, we went ahead and got the base coat mixed out. Looks great. I'm gonna go ahead and spray the bottom side of the hood, and I'm hoping I didn't overmix. I'm a little bit nervous with how much paint I have. And we have a base coat laid out. Turns out I had mixed the right amount. The underside is not going to be perfect, and I don't expect it to really be perfect, to be completely honest. Yeah, I didn't put too much effort into getting the underside perfect. It's going to be a little bit rough textured in some areas, but yeah, I just wanted it to essentially be at least the same color as the rest of the car, just because I didn't want to, open my hood and then you see it's silver underneath and etc. So yeah, we only used about 3 ounces of base coat for this. It was just the right amount, thankfully. You can see once it starts flashing, it starts almost turning into like a lighter purple rather than the darker purple it's supposed to be. So we're going to give this a little bit, probably about 15-20 minutes to flash over, and then we're going to shoot it with clear coat. In the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and pull all of these taped off stickers, so that way we can go ahead and clear coat it with that. And like that, the underside of the hood is complete. Again, it's not perfect. I don't really care for it to be perfect. We got quite a bit of orange peel. If we really wanted to, we could wet sand the entire bottom of this and buff it, but that just seems like a lot of work for something that's not really going to get looked at. So we're going to go ahead and leave it as it is. But I'm really stoked with how it came out. This color, it's beautiful. To me, I am really excited to paint the whole rest of the car this color, and I think it's going to look great. But yeah, other than that, the bottom side of the hood is done. Most of the body work is done. We got to do a little bit of sanding on this rear flare just because of that air pressure change right here. We still need to do the trunk and the entire driver's side and the hardtop. But I'm probably going to cut it right here, guys. This is a very long video, and I apologize for that. It's just been back-to-back surprises and, work that wasn't expected to come up. But yeah, if you've enjoyed this, go ahead and subscribe. Go ahead and comment, let me know what you think down below. Like the video, share it with your friends. Other than that, we'll see you on the next one. We're probably going to tackle the hard top next. So we'll see you there.